Understanding the Multilateral Treaty Collection from the United Nations, the status of a treaty. This tutorial will focus on the multilateral treaties that are available from the United Nations. Multilateral treaties deposited with the Secretary General. This database provides information on the status of over 500 major multilateral instruments deposited with the Secretary General of the United Nations covered up to April 1, 2009. This database also reflects the status of these treaties as members sign, ratify, accede, or lodge declarations, reservations, or objections. Before we begin the search section of this tutorial, there are some acronyms that you should familiarize yourself with. The online database we are currently accessing is a part of the UNTC, which stands for the United Nations Treaty Collection. MTD-SG stands for Multilateral Treaties Deposited with the Secretary General. UNTS is the United Nations Treaty Series. And finally, MS stands for Monthly Statements of Treaties and International Agreements. To find the status of a multilateral treaty, select the Status of Treaties option on the side menu of the UNTC Databases page. After selecting Status of Treaties, you will see several tab options. The Introduction tab provides you with information on how to use and understand the information provided in the Status of Treaty section of the MTD-SG database. The UN tab, which stands for United Nations, provides access to the first part of the MTD-SG publication, which contains information on the United Nations treaties. LON tab, which stands for League of Nations, provides access to the second part of the MTD-SG publication, which contains information on the League of Nations treaties. Historical Information tab provides notes on former and current treaties regarding their status in the United Nations. The last three tabs are three different search options that you can use to find the status of a multilateral treaty. The three options are Advanced Search, Index, and Full Text Search. How to do an index search on the status of a treaty. For this section, we will review how to use the index of the United Nations Treaty Database to search for the status of a treaty. The sample question we will be using is, what is the current status of the Rome Statute of the International Criminal Court? Start at the United Nations Treaty Collection page. Once on this page, click on the sixth item of the tab section marked Index. After clicking the Index tab, you will be taken to the index search page like the one below. Here you can do a subject search on all of the UN treaties that have been filed with the Secretary General. Before typing in your search, you will want to make sure that the drop-down menu on the upper left-hand corner is selected to the United Nations treaties as indicated by the number 1 on the screen. Below that is the title keyword search box circled in red. Since our sample question is asking for the status of the Rome Statute of the International Criminal Court, we will use the keywords Rome Statute to search for the treaty status as indicated by the number 2 on the screen. After you have typed in the keywords, click Search as indicated by number 3 on the screen. Now that you have clicked Search, there are a total of 3 records that contain the subject of the Rome Statute as circled in red. Since we are searching for the status of the Rome Statute of the International Criminal Court, you will want to click on the top item labeled Rome Statute of the International Criminal Court. Interpreting the status of a treaty. Upon clicking on the item labeled Rome Statute of the International Criminal Court, you'll be taken to a screen that looks like this. This is where you'll find the status of the Rome Statute. The status of the treaty that's marked by the red arrow indicates that there are 139 signatories, 121 parties to the treaty. Signatories refer to the states and other entities with treaty-making capacity which have expressed their consent to be bound by a treaty where the treaty has not yet entered into force, or it has not entered into force for such states and entities. Parties refer to states and other entities with treaty-making capacity which have expressed their consent to be bound by a treaty and where the treaty is enforced by such states and entities. The advanced search option is another way to locate the status of a multilateral treaty. You can search for an action upon a particular treaty, depository notifications or CN by the Secretary General, certified true copies or CTCs of multilateral treaties, maps, or by treaties. Say we want to find if any states have recorded reservations with regard to the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights. Let's start by searching under Treaty. We want the original treaty document, so we will select Show Only Original. We can change the search criteria by filtering depending on what you are looking for. You can filter by certain dates, French or English documentation, or participant, for example. Let's filter by English title. To find the exact document, we can enter International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights into the criteria for selected attribute. Since it is the title of the document, we can limit the search to match this phrase. Now click on Add to Search. You can keep adding to your search criteria. You can also remove any criterion by clicking on the red X to the right of any criterion. The search criteria is sufficient, so click Search. The search criteria for English title contains this phrase, produces 4 records. Each record has information including the registration number, creation date, treaty type, registration number, and object name. You can print the document by clicking on the small printer icon on the upper left corner of the document. You can view treaty information like the registration number, the date of the receipt, subject terms, and links to the document in various languages. Below is the status with the participants' actions. Member states sign, ratify, accede, or lodge declarations and submit reservations or objections. Participants are listed in the status tables in alphabetical order. Against each participant's name is the relevant treaty action, date of receipt, and date of effect. You can scroll through the status table and look for member states with reservations. You can also do a Control F search to look for the term reservation. The first one we see through scrolling is a withdrawal of a reservation by Australia on November 6, 1984. Click on it to view its contents. The contents include the action title, relevant dates, any attachments, the volume number for action, and the PDF of the United Nations Treaty Series volume it appeared in. You can also print this window by clicking on the printer icon once again on the upper left-hand corner. For more information on how to read the status of a multilateral treaty or the United Nations Treaty Collection, please email dhllegal@un.org. Thank you.